Hey everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. If you don't know by now, my name is Aaliyah and I talk about all things bookish on this channel. Also some vlogs, faith, family, friends, and a number of other things, but mostly it's about books. And so I'm so excited to share with you today my mid-year book tag. I've been seeing a lot of YouTubers, booktubers in particular, do this trend of sharing like what they have read so far in the year because we're about midway. I know I'm a little late, but that's neither here nor there. I can't even say it. That's neither here nor there. It's the end of July, but why not share with you all what I have read so far, some of my amazing reads, great reads that I totally recommend, and then some of my not so great reads. So yeah, but let me get my tea, and I encourage you to get your tea as well. This is such a cute mug, my favorite bookish mug. My husband got this for me on my birthday, and it's still July, so I'm still celebrating. But let's go ahead and get started. So the first prompt, let's just start off, emotional. And so this is a book that made you cry this year. And I don't have the physical book because I read it on Kindle Unlimited, but this was one of my first, I think the very first read of the year for me. And I read this in January. I think like the second week of January I finished this book, and that is 1,000 Boy Kisses by, what is her name? I forgot the author's name, but 1,000 Boy Kisses is a book that made me cry. And it wasn't the best book I read this year, but it was definitely an emotional book, and you're kind of rooting for them. It's about two kids, teenagers that kind of grow up together, then they drift apart, come back together, and then the guy Rue is wondering why did they end. He was so in love with her, but it was very YA. So if you're not into YA romance, you probably will not like this book. And it was also very obsessive to me. Like a lot of the things that they allowed for their kids to do and teenagers to do, I'm like, is this real life? Would they actually do this? But that is a book that definitely made me cry, and I won't reveal why because that is the entire plot of the book. So next up, a book that made you happy, and this is really a toss-up between Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez, and then also A Love Song for Ricky Wilde by Tia Williams. And let's start with Ricky Wilde first. So why this book made me happy is because it's a romance book, so it gives you all the feels, but then of course you're rooting for them, and they're from two different worlds, and I won't give it away, but they're from two different worlds. And that's also what A Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez is the premise of that book. So these books just made me happy because it's like love can work, and even though you're so different and have so many things going on in your separate lives, like love can work, and it just made me happy. So I highly recommend both of those books for summer. This book is set in February, so maybe around Valentine's Day. But there was so much history in A Love Song for Ricky Wilde, and I just absolutely love this book. Next up is a book that is a part of a series or best series you read so far this year. I've only read one book, a part of a series, and that is the Throne of Glass series, and I read Crown of Midnight, which is the second book, or technically the third, I guess, if you count prequel. Is that prequel to the books? But I absolutely loved the book. I absolutely loved it. So I will definitely be continuing the Throne of Glass series. I do not have all of the books, and so that is the only thing really that's holding me back from getting these books. I got Air of Fire on Libby and it sent it to my Kindle, but I was just not in the mood yet to read it because I didn't want a time limit, because I was like taking notes. I had a list of characters, I had it all going on, and I really just want to have my own copies of the books. But Crown of Midnight, Throne of Glass absolutely is the best series that I'm reading right now. It's the only series I'm reading. But newest fave character. This was hard for me to kind of choose because newest fave character, because I sometimes forget the names of characters in books, and then I know I like them, but I forget why I like them. But this book was a more recent read for me, and then the book title is her name, and that is Carrie Soto is Back. So I listened to this book on audio, but I absolutely loved Carrie Soto. She is portrayed as this hardcore tennis player. She's even given the nickname like the bull or bulldozer or something, where everyone perceives her as like just this mean girl, like does not care. But we get to see like the behind the scenes and like her inner dialogue, and how she's also soft and loves her family, loves other people around her. And so she was really one of my favorite characters that I read this year, and just how she was portrayed, like that women can do anything, women's sports, like they just really get a bad rap of like, oh, they're not competing at the highest level as men. And she's coming back as an older woman trying to reclaim her title. So that's all to say. I love Carrie as a character and who she is, and just the dynamics between her and her father in the book. I love a father-daughter storyline as well, and so I highly recommend it. I also really enjoyed the audiobook. It wasn't a 5-star read for me, but it was like a 4-star. So the next category that I have is the most beautiful books on your shelf that you bought this year or that you were given. And I could not choose just one, so I chose 3. So the first book I've already mentioned, and I will mention it again, is A Love Song for Ricky Wilde. This book this cover is just absolutely beautiful to me. Like the purple tones, her hair in it, like their faces, the eyes being closed. I just absolutely love this cover, and like it goes with the vibe of the book. Like the mood of this book is this cover and these tones and hues. So absolutely love it. The next book I was gifted for my birthday and just recently got, and this is Happy Land, and I have not read this book, but it's so beautiful. Like I love the flower headpiece, like her skin, her face, also eyes closed in this book, and just the leaves, the mountains in the back. This is just a beautiful cover, and I have not read this yet, but I'm planning on reading it soon, hopefully this year. And lastly, this is a recent purchase, is Demon Copperhead, and this is by Barbara Kingsolver. And just take a look at this cover. Like this cover, it's simple yet complicated, and I love when covers have like hints of what the book is about on the cover. And I like the little gold right here, and it just has a lot going on, but then also simple. So a lot of people describe, I haven't read Magnolia Parks, but a lot of people describe like Magnolia Parks has the hints of, you know, what's going on in the book on the cover as well. So I really like that about a book. And then next is your new fictional crush. I think y'all gonna get tired of me talking about this book in this video, but let me bring it out again. A Love Song for Ricky Wilde. And I think I'm convincing myself more and more like, yeah, this was a 5-star read automatically. I read it in like 2 days. And that's Ezra in this book. And again, I told you they're from 2 different worlds, and he was just such a gentleman, so polite, how do I describe him? Like old school style. And he's not my crush because I already have my man, my crush, my husband. But it's just like a man that represents men well in books. Ezra. Yes, definitely. So I would also say Daniel in A Part of Your World was a great male main character. And he was just so funny and humble. He was a small town boy, man. So he was also a great male main character as well. Let me see if I can sip my tea now. Sip my tea. Okay, that's pretty good. This is my second cup of tea today. I'm not feeling the best, but I'm here. I'm here for you. I'm not feeling my best, but yes. So, next category is an author that you're now obsessed with. So, again, I couldn't just pick one. So, I'm picking two. But I don't have their books on my shelf. And I should be ashamed of that. But I have read their books. I just need to support them with my money and have physical books on my shelf. But anyways, first up is Kennedy Ryan. Kennedy Ryan, I'm obsessed with her, and now at this point I think I want to read her entire backlist. I have read 2 of her books and a part of the, what is the series called? Skyline series. And I have not read This Could Be, no. What is the last book? With Hendrix. The last book with Hendrix I have not read, and I just saw it at the bookstore, but I'm like, it will be on Kindle Unlimited soon. I know, hopefully. And I read the other 2 on Kindle Unlimited, and I was like, I can't buy the third one and put it on my shelf without starting with buying the first one. That's just how my brain works. It shouldn't work like that, but it does. But anyway, I'm obsessed with Kennedy Ryan and how she writes characters, represents women, and like weaves in racial, like race relations and topics about divorce and autism, blended families. Like, I just love it. Like, I compare them so much, even though they shouldn't be compared. But Abby Jimenez and Kennedy Ryan they write similarly to me, not in the way they write or how you read them, but like the topics they discuss, of how it's like soft and hard, romance, and also things that are difficult to read and process, which is real life. So I really, really enjoy her writing. Also, a new writer that I'm obsessed with is S.A. Cosby. S.A. Cosby. I just read Razorblade Tears by him, and I'm obsessed with his writing and how he portrays characters, how he uses metaphors in his books, how he describes things. The dialogue in between people was great. Like the book I just read, Razorblade Tears, connected race, LGBTQ topics, family, like so much was in that book. Like you could go back and teach an entire class on that book. So 5 stars hands down. And S.A. Cosby, I need to read more of his books, definitely. And I was just about to buy All the Sinners Bleed by him at Books A Million because it was only $6, but I didn't. I didn't buy it. But I definitely will have to read more of his books. A lot of his books are on Kindle Unlimited, so get Kindle Unlimited. Yes. And then the next category that...
Okay, so I totally forgot to mention the book that I did not like for this year or was a big disappointment to me, but I did mention that book in another video I just recorded. So let me add that clip now. Then I'll get to my favorite book of the year.
Yeah, Britt Bennett. Yes. Because I was deciding between The Mother and The Push when I was at the library, and I chose The Push. And that was probably my most disappointing read this year so far.
And the reason I say that this book was not my favorite is because it wasn't believable at some points. The husband was not listening to his wife at all. I was just like, what is this? Why are they saying the things they're saying, doing the things they're doing? The little girl was crazy, but then no one was listening to the mom. So that's basically it. So let's get back to the video.
Brings me to is your all-time favorite book so far of 2025. Best book of 2025 is Razorblade Tears. None other than Razorblade Tears by S.A. Cosby, because like I just mentioned, that book was just amazing and had so many topics in it that you can just discuss for so long. It makes you think about your world outside of the book. It's so real and raw, and just how he portrayed the dad's emotions when they didn't want to be emotional. Like, it was just so amazing. So amazing. All right, so the last category for this video is your most anticipated read for 2025. So the second half of 2025, a book that you're most anticipating. And again, I couldn't just pick one, because I am reading a book right now that I did not know I was anticipating, but it's amazing. I've just read one chapter or 1.5 chapters, and it's amazing. But I'm not gonna reveal that one to you because it'll be in an upcoming vlog and on my summer TBR, summer reads list. But 2 books that I am most anticipating that will be 5-star reads and that I will really, really enjoy are, and I actually have them, guys. Yeah. Are one, The Reformatory. Okay, The Reformatory by Tana Reeve-Du. Still, I hope I'm pronouncing her name right. But I have heard so many good things about this book. I just recently saw it on Instagram. Brit in Books on Instagram posted it, said it was 5 stars. One of my friends is reading it right now. And I am anticipating that this will be a great book. I think it's going to be similar to S.A. Cosby, but I'm not sure. But this is one of my big anticipated reads. Next up is The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett. And I just mentioned this book in a recent video that I posted. This is a recent book that I just purchased, and it's about 2 twins. Of course, they're 2 twins. It's about twin sisters who one is living the life of a white woman and one is living as a black woman, and the concept of passing and being in the South and how you're raised and all. It's just a lot of topics that I really, really love to think about and read about and talk about. So, The Vanishing Half. So those are some of my reads and anticipated reads for 2025. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe down below, like, comment, and subscribe. Again, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye.